Hello! We're back after a couple of days off from the end of Final Fantasy VII, and I was going to continue Final Fantasy VII, and I might still continue Final Fantasy VII at some point, but I really want to play some of the older ones. Like playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was like, man, I sure do enjoy those older Final Fantasies. They're quite good, and I think my favorite one, just on a whole package level, is 10. And I was like, I've done 10 once before. It was actually one of the first games I ever streamed, like all the way through. Way back. This is like 2013 when I got my PS2, and I had built-in streaming on that, and it had Final Fantasy X HD. I went and did the full platinum on that. I did everything all the way to the end of the game. I completed penance. I think technically I'm not actually sure I have the platinum, because I think I didn't bother going back and stealing 100 items as Riku, which is like not even that hard. But I don't think I ever got around to doing that. But I did all the ultimate weapons and PS4. Yeah, did I say PS5? Whatever. I forgot what consoles existed No, I had a PS5 in 2013. No, I said two. Oh, I mean, I did play this on PS2 back in the day as well, but I didn't stream it on PS2. But yes, PS4 is what I was playing the HD collection on and got the platinum trophy. I think technically I didn't get the Riku thing. And I keep meaning to go back and like just go steal 100 things as Riku because that would take like 20 minutes. But I've never had the motivation to just sit down and grind out 20 minutes of stealing with Riku just to get the platinum trophy and call it a day. It's like one of those things. It's like the next time I go back and play it, it'll just happen naturally, and I don't care, and that'll be enough, and I don't care. But I did all the hard stuff. I got like all the Aeon weapons. Are they Aeon weapons? What the hell are they called in this one? I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played this. Probably since 2013, to be honest. So like 12 years, roughly. Um, I did all the weapons. I did the Dark Aeons. I did penance. I did all that stuff. Hope we see some Tonberries. We will probably not see some Tonberries today, unless I decide I'm not going to work tomorrow. But we won't be seeing Tonberries today, most likely. Let me click out of this so that I stop going insane listening to this music. Is it showing the game? I wish for it to be showing the game. Why is it not doing that thing? How about now? How are we looking? There we go. Now we've got a game. Okay, beautiful. So if I think we're just going to start a new game. One thing to note, despite the fact this is effectively going to be usable as a like guide / walkthrough, there's going to be one bit in here, and I'll probably bring this up a couple more times just as it becomes relevant. There's going to be one bit in here that is not going to work if you were trying to use this as a guide for 100% playthrough kind of thing. I'm going to import a save that has all of the Albed dictionary compiled. I actually downloaded a save specifically for this because I don't have that on the PC. Oh, Jesus, stop doing things. We'll discuss the mods in a moment. Get out of here. What if I hit load? Will that stop it from doing that? Okay, yeah. I don't have an official save from my playthrough on Steam that has the 100% like Albed dictionary, so I just went and downloaded one. Oh, that's why this is so loud, because it's at double the normal volume. So I went and downloaded one just so we could have that, because I think it'd be fun to have all of the Albed text translated, because typically you have to do like a second playthrough to see what all the Albed at the start of the game are saying. So I won't have all of the Albed dictionaries. Because you import them, that means they're deleted out of the game and you won't see them. I should tell you what, just to be nice, I'm gonna look up Final Fantasy X missable things. Primers. But, but. Or I'll bed books in a row. I'm just trying to look for just like a missable item walkthrough. Here we go. Okay, so mandatory blitzball tournament, technically possible to lose. I'm just gonna look up like for any missable stuff. It's all way later in the game. Okay, cool. I will call out if there are any missable items along the way, so that like and where they would be, so that you're not missing them if you decide to use this. For this, I'm just going to use the standard sphere grid to kind of run through the differences. Final Fantasy HD, the like HD collection, whatever, uses a updated version of Final Fantasy from what was released in the US originally. It uses the Final Fantasy X International Edition, which International Edition was something that was released later. They did this for a few of the games in the 90s. Final Fantasy VII, notably, had an International Edition as well. It was typically like when they would release the game in Japan, there would be a delay before it came out in the US. And while they were working, because they had to port it over and do the localization and everything, and while they were working on porting it and doing the localization, a lot of times they would end up just kind of like coming up with extra content they wanted to add into the game. Usually that ended up just getting added in with the US release, and so the US release would frequently have more content than was available in the Japanese release. And then they would release an international edition later that was usually only available in Japan, that would include the content that had been released in the US. So, for example, like Emerald and Ruby Weapon were not in the original Japanese release of Final Fantasy VII, but they were in the US release, and then they were added to the Final Fantasy VII International Edition. A lot of times when they go back and do like ports or like HD versions of these games, they'll use the like most updated version, so it tends to be the international version. 10 had a bit of a weird one, which was that I believe the original Japanese and English versions were basically feature identical. However, while they were working on the localization, they did come up with some new content that they just released straight into an Final Fantasy X International Edition that got released in Japan like later. Basically like a director's cut, you could think of it as, which included a bunch of new endgame content. Notably, it included the Dark Aeons, and it added this Expert Sphere Grid. The big changes with the Expert Sphere Grid, if you're familiar with Final Fantasy X's leveling system, it's basically like a board game. You get a big map, and you can move your characters along a line on the map, and each square gives them new stat upgrades or abilities along the way. The original Sphere Grid is fairly restrictive as far as like each character has a path that they follow that will have like character archetype abilities along it. So you'll have like your black mage abilities, your white mage abilities, your thief abilities, your whatever, all kind of along one standard path. Expert Sphere Grid starts everyone closer to the middle of this board game map, and has a lot fewer barriers between the different like archetype areas. So you can kind of mix and match abilities a lot easier and pick what you want to do. It also has a few less nodes overall, which at the very end of the game, when you're trying to like stat max your characters, can be a tiny issue. It's not that big of a deal. It's like 6 less nodes or something. It's not worth really worrying about, and you're still going to be able to get your characters fully maxed out. I'm going to go with standard, just because this game, especially when you're playing through the early parts of the game, up until you get like the end game, it does kind of expect you to have a character of each archetype. Like it expects you're gonna have a black mage, it expects you're gonna have a fast attacker, it expects you're gonna have a high accuracy attacker, it expects you're gonna have somebody with armor break, it expects you're gonna have all of these different things that each character would have, and then you're supposed to be swapping back and forth between characters as needed for the different abilities. And standard Sphere Grid just gives you that off the bat. If you do Expert Sphere Grid and you're not trying to do some kind of crazy meta build or do something really ridiculous, you're just going to be having to like plan out, okay, where would where would Orin normally go to learn Orin abilities? Where would Titus normally go to learn Titus abilities? And you just have to like plan that all out by hand, and it's just a little kind of dumb. If you're planning to do some crazy, like, oh, I'm gonna have Titus, but he learns black magic, then that's cool. You can do that with Expert Sphere Grid. It's really easy to do. You can technically still do that with Standard Sphere Grid, just not until like the end of the game. Expert Sphere Grid gives you a little bit more flexibility on that kind of stuff, which is cool, but I'm going to stick with Standard for now, just because I think it works better for what I'm planning to do. The only differences you'll really notice is that, like, yeah, your grid layout's going to be a little different, and you have to think a little bit harder if you want to match the stuff I'm doing, and you'll get a few less. Your end game stats will be like a tiny amount lower, but it'll be tiny amount lower in like completely irrelevant stats that the characters don't use anyway, so who cares? Standard Sphere Grid, you cannot switch Sphere Grids in game. Is this the one you want? Yeah, okay. You are locked in. I'm going to do original soundtrack. I will try to switch back and forth as much as I can to kind of showcase the different soundtracks, but on the whole, I tend to prefer the original soundtrack. The arranged stuff is nice, but it's just not what I'm used to. So, like, you can listen to this here, and this is like the original soundtrack, and then the arranged. Like, it's nice, but it's just not what I'm used to, so to me, this sounds off. So we're gonna go with the original for now. Yep, play the original soundtrack. Beautiful. I'm gonna try not to talk through too many of the cutscenes or over the voices or whatever, but we'll go right in. I do have a few mods enabled. We'll discuss the mods once I have control of my character.
Listen to my story. This may be our last chance.
Also, if volume needs any adjusting, let me know, because this game does not have in-game volume settings, other than on and off. So I'll have to do some manual tweaking of that, which is a little wonky, but we'll make it work. I'm hoping just default will be fine, but if we need to raise it or lower it, I can do that. This is fairly quiet right here. We'll wait till there's some people talking, we'll see how it goes from there. Alright. Well, let's discuss the mods. Speaking of this, how was this 2001? I can't remember if this is 2001 or 2002. It's somewhere right around there. But yeah. This is like not quite a launch title on the PS2, but it was like very early on in the PS2. First year or two of the PS2 release. However, we are playing the HD Remaster Edition, and technically there were two versions of the HD Remaster. There's the PS3 version and the PS4 version. I am playing the PS4 version, which was ported over to PC, so it looks a tiny bit nicer just by default because of that. Mostly, that just updated a few of the visual effects, like that water in the background there didn't look quite as cool. Like the arching water in the background there didn't look quite as nice in the PS2. And the reflection didn't look quite as nice. And a few other minor visual effects like that just like particle effects got updated a little bit. Lurk, say hi. Hey, Ghosty. How's it going? Good to see you. And then, yeah, the other update for the HD version was it was running at 1080p. It also updated all of the character models and changed all of their faces. So Tidus no longer looks like late 90s, early 2000s Jonathan Taylor Thomas, which is a slight disappointment, but that's okay. Oh, yeah, no, there are new sound alerts. That is true. I will let people discover those at their own leisure, but I did spend some time poking around and updating the sound alerts, so I'm sure I'll be deaf by the end of this stream. That's I have that to look forward to. But yeah, overall, it didn't update much other than that. There's a few texture upgrades, but not much. Honestly, the HD remaster was very light and mostly just touched the main character models, and then the native resolution, and then a few of the visual effects. I went in before we started stream, and I said, I want to upgrade a few more things. I want to upgrade the character models even more than what the HD remaster did. So I have 8K texture packs on all of the main character and main cast, as well as a few of the like supporting like the main villains and stuff like that. Some of the major characters you'll be seeing a lot of have some upgraded textures. Textures were all made by a person who goes by the username of Cataclysm, I believe it is, on Nexus Mods. Interestingly, it looks like it's the same person that uploaded the Mass Effect 1 texture pack that I used when I streamed Mass Effect 1. So thank you to them for continuing to provide some very high quality, faithful remaster textures to a lot of older games like this. Very nice to see. Keeps the same art style, but just makes it look a little bit prettier. You can really notice it on like Tidus's glove and his like hood. You can really see like the stitching and the individual cloth texture work on that hood and the glove, which is really cool to see. I also, from that same mod developer, we got a handful of his other HD mods. There, I'm gonna say there. I don't know who it is. A handful of their other HD mods. Most notably and importantly, we've got the HD Blitzball, because that is clearly essential. And then the HD Shoe Puff, because that is again just. You're missing out on Final Fantasy, the true Final Fantasy X experience, if your Shoe Puff is not in glorious 8K. So we've got that going for us. New sound alerts. Oh no. Now there's a sound alert you need. Oh, that's true. Oh god, hold up. No, you're right. I do need that. Hold up. God damn it. Yeah, there they are. Oh no. Can I?
Looking for bail.
Yeah, there we go. That's them. There, I see we found the sound alerts. Okay. Oh, that's surprisingly quiet. I need that to be louder. I'll have to see if I can find a louder version of that, or maybe make one. Maybe I can make that, and then I can just boost the volume.
This entire city must be purged.
God damn it. Oh no! Oh no, you can't use the entire city must be purged here. No, no, we don't want that at all. Mercy Beth, Alex to Beth for telling me about the alerts. Oh no, we got more. I gotta find. How do you spell? Hold up. We gotta find. Can I get? Oh, they don't have Shoe Puff launching?
Hey, listen!
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, the ready check didn't play. I think it got drowned out by the hey listen. What is this one? Oh wait, there it is.
Rides the shoe puff?
No, that's not what I want.
Rides the shoe puff? Ride.
That's possible. What's this one?
Rotten son of...
No. 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 They don't have Shoe Puff launching. Alright, never mind. I'll figure out if I can get a way to make that work. Okay. That's fine. We'll deal with the Shoe Puff later. Where's the ready check one? Is it from WoW? Yes, it's from WoW. It's going to cause my eye to twitch every time it plays because I'm so used to having to like dive off of the toilet and run across the house every time I hear that. Alright. But yes, anyways, mods, before we continue on with this game and the barrage of sound alerts. Tell chat about the time I pulled. Oh yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I did that. Bethany was queued up for a dungeon once, and they went to use the bathroom. And while they were in the bathroom, I went on YouTube and looked up the ready check noise, played it at like max volume. It was hilarious. They came bolting back out of the. Oh god, that was good. But yeah, other mods. We got the HD Shoe Puff, we got the HD Blitzball, we've got HD Snowflakes for when we're climbing the mountains. That's clearly important. But no, we got all the HD stuff by Cataclysm. It looks really nice. We did some HD character models for the, do I even have access to that right now? No. When I get to the Sphere Grid, the portraits it uses are updated, as well as the Sphere Grid itself, and the icons on the Sphere Grid are going to look a little crisper than normal. And then any of the pre-rendered cinematics, the what would have looked like the really high quality cinematics back in the day, they had started to look a little less good than, like, because they were rendered for the PS2 and they never really got a proper HD upgrade, even in the HD remaster. They looked amazing on the PS2, don't get me wrong, but they never really got a proper HD upgrade, so somebody went through and did some HDifying, some sharpening stuff and whatever on there. Also, speaking of sharpening, I am running a reshade, although I barely have anything applied. I think all I did is can you see my reshade overlay here when I do this? When I have my reshade thing up, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so it looks like it's not capturing the overlay. That's fine. The only thing my reshade is really, is it there? I don't remember where it lives. Whatever. The only thing my reshade, home? That? You see that? No? Oh yeah, you can. Okay. The only thing I did was a clarity filter and an adaptive sharpen. It came with a bunch of other options. I don't want them because it makes the game look bad. So I just turned everything off. And the only thing I'm using is a sharpening filter. And if we press end, I can turn it off. So that's what it looks like without the filters. That's what it looks like with the filters. It's real subtle. Honestly, not even sure if you're going to be able to see it on Twitch. But it makes it look just a tiny bit crisper. It's kind of nice. Sharpens up some details. That's it. That's all the mods. I didn't do a huge amount, but it's a little bit. So if you're wondering why this might potentially look a tiny bit crispier than you're remembering, if you're like a really big Final Fantasy X fan, that's the complete list. When I upload these to YouTube, I will try to put links to where to find all of these and how to install it all. There's also a project called Unproject Final Fantasy X or something like that. It's like the big Final Fantasy X patch. It updates controller support, does just a bunch of basic like housekeeping niceties and some bug fixes and stuff like that for the PC version of Final Fantasy X. There weren't really too many problems, but this just kind of goes through and like touches everything up, gets it all normalized, gets everything working the way it should be working. Untitled Project X? Yeah, that's it. That sounds right. It shows up at the start of the game. Whenever I start the game, it says it on screen and I ignore it. But yeah, it's there. It's got some nice options. Is that what this menu that I'm opening here is? Yeah, Untitled Project X version 0.9.1.9. For me, the big reason I had to run this. Also, why is my frame rate capped at 30? Can I uncap that? Frame rate limiter. Frame rate limit. My frame rate's just been capped at 30 this entire time, and I don't know why. I don't want my frame rate limited to 30. I didn't think it was. Maybe this game's always just run at 30 frames a second, and I'm just an idiot. That's possible. Resolution limiting. The child safety cap, then no. I don't know. Top chain management. I don't know what any of these mean. Honestly, I can't tell if there's any average milliseconds per frame. Whatever, it's fine. I'm assuming it's fine. I don't think this ever ran at 60 anyway. It's possible this is just how Final Fantasy X has always run. I just didn't realize it. I have no idea. But whatever, it's running at 30. I don't know why. Maybe I'll look into that later more if I want to try to figure that out. But whatever, it overall this has some nice like rendering options. I was having a problem where all of the cutscenes were rendering as just a static green screen, which is apparently a very common problem on modern hardware, and Untitled Project X just fixes that. It just doesn't happen anymore. Alright, enough tech talk. Let's get into the game. We're gonna go start playing a little bit here. Kids, what up?
Can you sign this?
No problem.
Oh yeah, we got a name Titus. Who I'm going to be calling Titus this entire time. And I think that they have officially confirmed that his name is pronounced Titus. And I will never say that of my own free will, other than noting the fact that that is a terrible way to pronounce this name. So, whoever it is at Square Enix that decided that that's the correct pronunciation, you're wrong and you should feel bad about it. Yeah, that is a choice that they made, and we're gonna pretend they didn't.
Alrighty.
Me too!
Take it easy.
Alright,
Can I have your autograph?
Of course.
Good luck tonight!
Nothing to worry about. Oh, if I score a goal, I'll, do this. That will mean it was for you, okay? What seat?
East block in the front row! Fifth from the right!
Got it.
I always assumed it was Titus because wordplay and tides and water and stuff. That's kind of what I assumed too, is that like, especially with how like water themed this game is, like there's so much to do with oceans and water and like look at this city. Like I live in a houseboat on a giant lake, and they've got like giant magically suspended columns of water floating in the background, and his sword, later his sword is made of water. Like, yeah, I just assumed it was Tide. Like, it was specifically based on, and also the name Titus, Titus, is an actual name, and I just assumed that this was like, oh, it's Titus, but they spelled it funny because they're putting a ploy on Tide in there. But no, it's Titus. Which, not how you pronounce that at all, but whatever.
Well, gotta go. Cheer for me.
2, 3.
I'm fairly certain they used to sell the shirt that kid on the left is wearing.
Hey, I got a game to play.
I feel like I've seen that out in the wild.
Maybe tonight, well,
You can't tonight.
I mean tomorrow.
Promise?
Promise.
Hey, pass! That's how Finns would pronounce it. The Japanese pronunciation is pretty simple. Oh, really? So, like, in Finnish, Tidus would be pronounced Titus? Oh. Interesting. It's still wrong, but interesting. Clearly, the creators of this game don't know how to pronounce things correctly, is what I am learning. It's Father of the Year Jecht.
I was in a coffee shop running away from home when I heard the news. Our hero, Jecht, gone, vanished into thin air. My dad must have been his biggest fan. I knew how sad he'd be. Heck, we all were that day. Zanar, I says to myself, what are you thinking? I went running straight back home. We sat up talking about Jecht all night. My dad and I never talked so much. Whoa, didn't mean to reminisce, folks. Anyway, 10 years later, the Jecht Memorial Cup tournament is today. The two teams that have won through to the finals are, of course, the Abes from A East and the Duggles from C South. I know there's a lot of people out there today to see the star of the Abes. In just 1 year, he's become the team's #1 player. He's Jecht's blood and the new hope of Blitzball. What kind of super play will he show us today? Will we see his father's legendary shot? I don't think I'm the only one excited here, folks.
Let's check what's his face. Are you talking to Keith Richards? Is that who you're thinking of? I guess I can kind of see it. He's got like the bandana thing going on. The one that isn't Mick Jagger. I mean, there were like 5 or 6 guys in the Rolling Stones, but I'm guessing you mean Keith Richards. But yeah, also another thing to note here, as far as like story discussion goes and plot, as you may have picked up on, I've played Final Fantasy X before. I'm not terribly worried about spoilers. I will try to refrain from addressing like plot critical spoilers, like overly much, but it might come up here and there. Especially, you know, like, just because, like, in case anybody's watching that hasn't played, I'll try not to just be like, well, I was about to spoil something, but no, we're going to try to not just drop massive spoilers. If it happens, it happens. I'm not worried. Yeah, the game's 24 years old. I think most people know most of the spoilers. I certainly do. I've played this game far too many times and spent far too much time on it. So I am not in any way worried about spoilers. Also, I think this game is one of the most fun games in the Final Fantasy series to come back and replay after you know the twists. Because there's a lot of stuff that you can pick up on, like the second time through, after you know what's coming up, that you might not have picked up on the first time. Like this person here. Wait, say it again. Wait, was it not you? Who was it? Oh, it's this guy. I don't feel so good, like I'm on a roller coaster going down. Gee, wonder what could be causing strange gravitational effects in the area. I wonder if it's something we'll be seeing very shortly. What else do we got around here? There was somebody else that had a comment about something that was like, no. No. Somebody else made a comment about that, they were worried about something. And yeah, I wonder what could be causing that. Alright.
Make way, make way! Coming through, sorry.
This entire city must be purged.
Oh.
Hey, I'm gonna
Well,
be
about
late.
that.
Hey, let go of me.
Alright, into the stadium we go. And speaking of HD remastered cutscenes, and an amazing soundtrack. Yeah, they were really showing off on that PS2 launch like hardware. Like that was remastered, but I mean you can go back and look up old versions of that on YouTube at 480 and it looks still pretty goddamn good. It's for a 480p video from, 2002. Like, it's pretty insane that they were able to get this. I mean, I guess that was pre-rendered, so whatever. It wasn't like it was being live rendered by the PS2, but like, just to have that as an opening video, like the jump in graphical fidelity we went from like Final Fantasy VII to Final Fantasy X over the course of 5 years is unbelievable. Can I talk to these people? Oh, no.
Auron!
It just makes me talk to Auron if I do that.
What are you doing here?
I was waiting for you.
What are you talking about?
Can I talk to him now? This guy doesn't look so good. I'll have monitors everyone from this into Final Fantasy VII Lego people. That would be phenomenal. The Final Fantasy X remake.
Huh?
It begins.
What?
Don't cry.
And yeah, like when you know the end of the game and you understand who this kid is and why time stops for him on command,
Oh,
and like the reality of this city and what's going on here.
what the? Huh? Hey, wait! Hey, not this way.
Look,
Oh yeah, no, this game is like compressed depression. Like, it's particularly towards the end, it is like absolutely weaponized levels. Hey, Ultra Goldsmith. How's it going? Levels of social commentary. Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah, we'll be getting into all that.
take it.
True for most of the like late 90s, early 2000s Final Fantasy games though, and JRPGs in general.
A gift from Jekt.
My old man?
I hope you know how to use it.
This game has some thoughts on religion, is what I'll say.
These ones don't matter. We cut through.
Alright, Also, this game has one of the best combat systems in any video game ever. Oh, I might need to move chat. I don't think I want chat living on the right side of the screen. Hold up. Can I move you guys? I think you might need to live on the left side of the screen for this one so that you're not covering up my, whose turn it is meter. I think that might be kind of important. Okay, yeah, you guys can live over on the left side of the screen. But yeah, you got this little turn meter here, which, can I move that? Yeah, I can. And scroll up and down. This is an entirely turn-based combat system. Unlike, I believe, can you put your chat in the second monitor? If I felt like going and picking up my 47-inch TV and moving it across the house, and then setting it on my desk and clearing space off on my desk, then yes. What happened to Cloud? Cloud, we were done. We finished the story of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We will be going back. I want to do all the side content still, but I've been itching to play and more Final Fantasy just in general, and so this I was like, man, I want my Final Fantasy X. This is one of my favorites. This is one of the best Final Fantasies ever made, and it's one of my favorites. And I want to go. I don't have the platinum on Steam because I platinumed it back in the day on the PS4, and I haven't done it on Steam. So we're gonna do that on Steam. We're gonna do 100% everything, all the super bosses, all the optional content, all the monster arena, you name it, we're doing it. That means that despite everything I told myself when I platinumed this on PS4, I am going to have to do the fucking lightning minigame again. This is going to be the third time in my life that I have had to do the lightning minigame. And like, oh god. The first time I did it was on the PS2. The second time I did it was on the PS4, and I got a trophy for it. And I was like, alright, we're done. That's it. I never need to do the lightning minigame again. And then they fucking released it on Steam, and now I gotta do the lightning minigame again. And if you don't know what the Final Fantasy X lightning minigame is, oh boy, you are you are in for an entire stream, because that will almost certainly be an entire stream. Yeah, it is gonna be something. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be coming back eventually, in small parts, I think. We'll do like little one-offs here and there as I feel like going back and playing some more of the side quests and getting all the side content wrapped up. But we finished the story, so that's all good. It'll be on the YouTube channel shortly, once I get it all uploaded under there. But yeah, talk about Final Fantasy X's combat system, just kind of the history of Final Fantasy up to this point. When this game released, every previous Final Fantasy game, mainline numbered Final Fantasy game, had been it was like an ATB system. I think I'm trying to think. I think the original releases of the first couple Final Fantasies technically were turn-based, because the NES couldn't really handle like ATB. Maybe it was ATB. I've never played the NES version of them. I've always played the re-releases. And the re-releases, they use the ATB system. So I don't want to... Maybe the NES version or Famicom version of 1 might have been strictly turn-based. So most of them were ATB system, active time battle, where a little bar would fill up, and when the bar filled up, that meant you got to take a turn. And the higher your speed stat, the faster your bar filled up. And so you just sit there taking turns, wailing on each other. Everybody stood in a line. But like, you couldn't do what I'm doing right now, where you just took your hand off the controller and sat here, because the enemy's bar would build up too, and they would attack you. So if you just stood here like an idiot like this, you would just eventually get killed by all the enemies. That had to happen in the original game. So yeah, no, that's totally how that worked all the way back. Final Fantasy X dropped that in favor of a strict turn-based system, where each player takes a turn in order. And you can see in the upper right portion of the screen there's this little gauge that will show whose turn is coming up when. So right now Tidus is at the top, followed by Monster A, followed by Auron, followed by Monster C, Monster B, then we'd loop back around to Tidus, then A, C, and B all go in a row, then Auron. And you can kind of see that that's not always a strict loop, and it's because Auron's got a really slow speed stat, so like, he doesn't get his turn as often in that rotation, so the monsters might get to cut in line every now and then. So your speed stat still does affect how often you'll go, but you can kind of see your order and track it here. Later in the game, we're going to see some really interesting stuff where you can like delay an enemy's turn or speed your own turn up, or you might do a really powerful move that delays your own turn, and you'll be able to see that reflected on the gauge. So keeping an eye on that can be very important. Also worth noting, you can use that gauge to plan some stuff out like this. For example, right now, if I attack, I am attacking Monster A. You can see the little red arrow there. If I go to... Oh, can I not attack Monsters C and B right now? Oh, because they're in the back row. Duh, they're in the back row. So if I attack Monster A, if Auron wasn't nerfed with speed, he'd be unstoppable. Wait till we get to the end of the game and I can max out his stats and give him the highest speed stat in the game. Because, yeah, you're right. He's real good. This isn't giving me a good example to show it here. If you, for example, had Auron, he has two choices of enemies here, enemy B and C. If one of these enemies was going to go first, and I attacked it, I could potentially prevent, I could, focus like, okay, this is the one that's going to get the attack next, so I can kill this one, then Tidus gets a turn to kill the other one. This is a bad example, because Tidus isn't going to get a turn before this monster gets to attack. Oh, he did for some reason. Oh, the monster must have just chosen not to do anything. These early monsters can do that, so that's a little bit of a bad example. That's okay.
Don't bother going after all of them. Cut the ones that matter and run.
Yeah, you'll start seeing some options appear here, like the spines start shimmering. I can't tell which one it is that's supposed to have its spine shimmering at the moment. Typically they're flickering faster than the other ones. And it honestly looks like they're all flickering at exactly the same rate to me. Whatever, I don't really care. We just want to kill all the ones in front of us anyway. And I feel like it's not really going to make much of a difference which one I attack. Yeah, we're fine. I don't think I need to worry terribly much about the opening battles in Zanarkand killing me. I should be able to make it through Zanarkand without a problem. If I can't, then this plan is off. We're canceling the stream. This guy's gonna use Demi. It can't actually kill
Get
you.
out of my town!
Some can't wait to die.
It does percentage-based damage, so it'll just continually lower your health by a fixed percent, which means it'll never actually kill you. Overdrive gauge. This is the new limit break system. As you take damage, that fancy yellowish bar below your health, your name there, shows up. Fills up as you take damage. Once it reaches all the way full, it turns kind of orange, like Auron's bar currently is. When that happens, you can press off to the side of your main menu to use your overdrive, which is like your limit break. Each of these has something different. Everybody's overdrive works different. Auron's, you gotta enter button combos, which we'll see if I remember off the top of my head. I just did this yesterday, but yeah, we're good. Alright. You enter the button combo in time, you do a bunch of extra damage. It's real powerful. Tidus, attack it. Neat one with this is as you attack it and do damage, the little tentacles at the top of it will disappear. The more damage it takes, the more tentacles disappear. Tidus has also gotten an overdrive because he got hit again, so we'll get to see how Tidus' overdrive works. Pick our overdrive. If you hit the button at the right time, you get some extra damage. We've also got some extra abilities we can use here. You can see here, like, attack and skill. If I use those, it goes Auron, Monster, Tidus, Auron. Items are actually faster to use than most things, so if I use an item instead of attacking, Auron gets his turn back sooner. If I use some skills will be slower. You can kind of see that. It's really hard to show. On the second Auron on the bar there's a purple bit next to him. That purple bit kind of shows the turn order, in descending amounts of filled in purple. When I pick skill and choose this skill, you're going to see it get smaller. because Power Break has a slower recovery time than Attack does, but not slow enough to skip his turn. Also, Power Break's irrelevant. This lowers an enemy's strength. This monster does not use strength, so no sense in using that. We'll just attack it. Yeah, we'll just kind of go over some of the little neat bits here at the beginning. I really love this game's combat system. I think it's one of the coolest combat systems I've ever seen. There's a Lord of the Rings game that actually like straight up just stole this game's combat system. I streamed it once for like an episode or two, but the problem I had was that all of the menus and cutscenes are just straight footage from the movies. Like, just 100% just because they have the licensing rights, so it's just straight New Line Cinema footage from the movies. And oh boy, did Twitch and YouTube not appreciate that. I tried to upload the VOD to YouTube and like, oh my god, it would not let me publish the video. I think it had something like 190 copyright strikes in a single 3-hour video. It was kind of impressive, honestly. It's a game that I'd like to play on my own time at some point, but like, whew, we're not going to be able to put that one on stream. I think I kept it on my YouTube channel just in the back, because I can't publish it, so like it doesn't actually affect my channel at all. But like I have this like pending publishing video buried in my channel that's just like every copyright strike known to man compressed into one video.
What are you laughing at, old?
Yeah, it was like 190 something.
Alright, let's get outta here.
It's real bad.
Weird
Because they used the Lord of the Rings movie soundtrack and like
Give me a break, man.
like I am not exaggerating. Every single like ability description, like codec entry, menu, every like item was just like there'd just be a video playing in the corner that was just straight footage from the films, like unedited, just straight footage from the movies playing. You could probably watch most of the Lord of the Rings trilogy through the menus of that game. I can't remember what the hell the name of the game is. It's really cool, honestly, because it's like it's this game. It's like the Final Fantasy X equipment and menu and combat system, but it's Lord of the Rings, and it's so cool. But yeah, because of the fact that it uses so much copyrighted footage, do not stream that game. Unless you're looking to get sued, it is not recommended. Alright, for this fight, we need to just kill some stuff. Until... Nice. Cool. Until Auron says, stop attacking these idiots and attack the thing over there. Until he says that, I can't actually attack it. So we need Auron to say, like, hey Titus, these things just keep running back out. What is the game? Wings start to flicker. Okay, see, that's what I was expecting. You can see how that one's wings are flickering faster.
This could be bad. That. Knock it down.
I'll look up the Lord of the Rings game once I
Trust me, you'll
get
see.
control of my character on a movable part of the game again. For some reason, when I tab out, sometimes the game starts cycling through menus really quickly. I think Alt might be one of the default keyboard controls, so it doesn't like me Alt-tabbing out. Third Age. Yep, Lord of the Rings to Third Age. That's it. Thank you, Ghost, or Pass. Yes, that was the one. Very cool game. I highly recommend playing it if you like this style of game, and you like the Lord of the Rings, because it's this game, but the Lord of the Rings, which is awesome. And was officially licensed by New Line Cinema and uses all kinds of assets from the Lord of the Rings films, as I discovered when I attempted to stream it. I never actually looked to see if there's anyone that like uploaded a playthrough on YouTube and what they would have done to bypass all the like copyright strikes, because it's just automatically detecting all of the film footage, which like, yeah, it's there. God, these cinematics look so cool.
You are sure? This is it. This is your story. It all begins here.
There's a long play on YouTube. Is it just the one? That's, I guess, my question. Because, like, I'm sure somebody found a way around it, but... Man, you'd have to work for it.
My old man? I thought about a lot of things. Like where I was, what I got myself into. I started to feel lightheaded, and then sleepy. I think I had a dream of being alone. I wanted someone, anyone beside me, so I didn't have to feel alone anymore.
Yep, only one video on it. Oh god. Disc 1, Part 1 never did a video. It's not mine, is it?
Aaron! Hey!
Cracking a soda open. Alright. We've made it to more gameplay. There's a second channel devoted to long plays. I do not. Just my VOD channel. That's it. Which also has some old clips from my PS2 day or PS4 days. Like that one Fallout video where I have like 150,000 views of me fighting a sentry bot. Which I will never understand how that one video has just gained so much traction in the algorithm, but whatever, that's fine. Alright. This little doohickey right here. Okay, there is a neat little gimmick in this game where there is a race of people known as the Al Bhed, and they speak their own language, and the language is just a one-to-one translation cipher of English. You just replace a letter from English with a different scrambled letter, and you just read it as it would be written. There are 26 dictionaries, Al Bhed dictionaries, located throughout the game, and each one that you find will let you translate a different letter. And once you've translated that letter, it will automatically translate in the subtitles so that you can see what they're saying in Al Bhed. Obviously, you need to pick up quite a few dictionaries before any of it's going to be readable or make any sense. This here lets you import the dictionaries that you have earned on another save. So, if I grab this, it should import all the dictionaries from my other save. I downloaded a save that has max dictionaries just so that I can have this translated, because there's going to be a lot of the early game Al Bhed text, especially in this area, that you simply would not... Does the number of dictionaries change depending on if you're playing in a language that is more... No, because it's just English. Albed is just English in a different cipher, so no, the dictionaries don't change, depending on non-26 letter alphabet. Also, I'm not sure this was ever like region translated to anything other than English and Japanese. And I think in Japanese it just used like whatever the English equivalent is. It katakana? I don't remember what the hell their thing comes out to. But yeah, no, it's just English. There's 26 dictionaries, no matter what. The downside to using this is that because it doesn't want you to, you can't collect duplicates of them. If I import all the dictionaries in the game disappear because I already have them. So you will not be seeing any Albed dictionaries appear anywhere in the game once I press this button. However, you will be able to read all the Albed text, which you would normally have to do on a second playthrough. I just think it's cool. I want to be able to show off what all the Albed are saying, just because I think it's more interesting for a complete playthrough. Most of the Albed dictionaries are not missable. You can just go back and get them whenever you want. There is going to be one set of 4 of them later in the game that are missable. And when we get to the point where we are approaching the missable dictionaries, I will make sure to thoroughly look up where they all are and point them out as needed, so that if you were using this as a walkthrough, you would not be missing dictionaries. I'm probably just going to end up walking straight past a bunch of spots that would have had a dictionary and not call it out on screen, but you'll see them. And if you don't, you can just look up an Albed dictionary guide. Unfortunately, that's the one thing this video is not going to cover, or video series is not going to cover, is the Albed dictionaries, because, yeah, I just want to be able to have this available. So we're going to go ahead and select some save data to synthesize from, and if I synthesize from this one... Oh no, that should be good. Compile the dictionary. There, that's Albed. That Sycdan, Sycdan, is Albed. Now if I go into my key items, if I scroll down, I'm guessing they're all gonna, yeah. All 26 Albed dictionary or primers are now in my inventory, and I'll be able to read every bit of Albed text that comes on the screen perfectly. Fun thing to note, keep your eye open for spelling errors. Because they were typing this in gibberish, it made it very difficult for them to spell check it. So, there are frequent spelling errors in Albed, which makes it really hard to read if you don't have the complete set of dictionaries. Because the translation team was, looking at it from Albed. Like when they playtested it, everything was in Albed, so it made it very difficult for them to read what was on screen. Most of the notable, gameplay relevant ones are fine, but there's definitely some dialogue here and there that's going to have some spelling errors in it. Here's an example of Albed right here. I should have showed this off before I got the primers. Oh well, this would have been gibberish before, but now if I read it, something's written here. And you can see how it's in pink text. Pink text means it's been translated from Albed. If you did not have the primers, the appropriate letters would show up scrambled and in gray text. But here, I'm getting it all in pink text because I can actually read Albed. But in the land where bolts of light illuminate the blackest night, with Macalania behind the 4th pillar you sight, look not on the left but on the right. Doesn't really mean much.
Nope, can't read it.
Nope, Titus can't read it. Don't worry about him. He hit his head. He's fine. Despite the fact he, can read it, he's gonna pretend like he can't. He will eventually acknowledge that he can read Albed. That is a thing. But for the early bits of the game, even if you can read Albed, Titus is just gonna pretend that he can't. All right, beautiful. Let's get a save going. Should be able to walk over here. I think there's a little chest hiding over here. I don't actually remember where the first Albed primer is. I'm assuming it's not here, because this area is really awkward to get back to. You can get back here later in the game, but man, it's like a lot later in the game. Also, does it show me where I am if I pause? Probably not, right? Ruins, underwater hall. It does show me something interesting. Well, let's dive. There we go. Also, it's always bugged me, but Tidus holds his sword, like, upside down, or backwards or something. Because, like, you can see there's, like, the silver edge on that would be, you know, the sharpened cutting edge. And there's the lower edge where, like, it's only sharp on the upper bit of the sword, and then it's got that weird hook on it. And, like, if you watch when he swings, like, he very distinctly swings it with the back side of the sword towards them. Like, he swings it like a baseball bat. Like, it's just not... Yeah, he's hitting them with the wrong end of the sword. There's always a bigger fish. Alright, time for a mini-boss. Sort of. We've got... I'm gonna guess you'd pronounce this guy's name Gosgano? His name is Geosgano. Is it Geosgano? I don't know how you'd pronounce that. But yeah, this fella. He's, I got not much to do. I got attack and items, so I guess we're just gonna attack. What about Geostigma? No, we're not fighting Geostigma. That's later. Different Final Fantasy. Although, arguably same universe, depending on what fanfiction you believe. And I think technically Tetsuya Nomura said this was in the same universe, but Tetsuya Nomura also designed the outfit that Tidus is wearing here, so I don't know if he can be trusted. And all of the outfits in Kingdom Hearts, so like, clearly the man's insane. More belts! Needs buckles and belts. Like, you can tell it's a Mono doing character design, and that's Tetsuya. Oh yeah. Tetsuya Nomura is like a dead giveaway, because it's just like, how many buckles and belts and how much leather are they wearing? He's got a very distinct style that he likes. And yeah, Mono's got a much more traditional fantasy style, which I love both. Genuinely, I do like both. As much shit as I give Tetsuya Nomura's character designs, I think they're actually really cool looking. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It is
out of the frying pan and into the freezer. I thought I was gonna die in this place.
Yeah, Tetsuya's art is ridiculous and over the top and like late 90s, early 2000s edgy, and like I can't lie, that was me. Like, I would be lying if I didn't say I shopped it like, exclusively at Hot Topic for a number of years. So like, I can't complain about this. He's the man selling me clothes. Like, it's totally fine. Tsunamura probably listens to new metal. Yeah, that's probably true. I have a feeling he's the reason that we got the new metal intro to this. I don't think that was entirely Nobuo Uematsu's doing.
Cold. Need fire.
Speaking of Nobuo Uematsu, if I'm not mistaken, this was the last Final Fantasy that he did the full soundtrack for, and like, man, what a banger. This game has an absolutely incredible soundtrack. Super, super cool. Worth noting here, this location right now does not mean much to us. It's just some random ruins we've appeared in. Later in the game, we will revisit this place, and it'll be like, well, we'll be learning some more about it, and the history of it, and where it came from, and what its origins are, and who's lived here, and who left all these random blood scrawlings on the floor, which you couldn't really see in the PS2 version, because the resolution was so much lower. But in this HD version, there's some fairly notable blood scrawlings kind of scattered all over the floor here. And we'll get some info on that. Definitely remember the first pair of trip pants I ever bought was very distinctly like, wow, just like a main character. Yeah, no, that art, that was heavily heavily influenced, I think, by Mr. Nomura. Okay, can't go through there. Let's go look around. We gotta find fire. Oh gosh. Gotta find sleep eventually too, but that's okay. Yeah, fun thing to note, there is a hidden chest if you just walk towards the bottom of the screen here. Kablamo. 1 ether. And then up the stairs we go. I need me some of this. We're gonna need to explore around a little bit, look for some more chests. Gather up as many items. One aether? Was it an ether? Oh, it was an ether. Look at that. Read it on screen, didn't enter my brain. Not even gonna lie. Much like many, that's one thing I've noticed, like especially when I'm streaming. Like, when I open a treasure chest, I will read what it tells me I just got, and be like, yep, that's what it said, and I'll close it, and it's just like, nope, that information has now left my brain. Okay. Also, kind of keep an eye on the layout of this room. Big circular room with a couple of small ante-rooms off to the side. We'll be seeing this again later. I wonder what Titus's plan here was.
I need food.
Relatable, man.
What do you want?
It was a bad call.
Your team lost because of you.
You came to say that?
It's been 10 years. I thought you'd be crying.
Who, me?
You cried.
Titus's plan was to lie down and die, what with the lack of food. I mean, to be fair, that's what I'm like when I run out of food in the fridge. Like, that is the point where you just kind of lay down and accept your oncoming death.
Wait! Don't go out on me! Just hold on. I'll get more wood.
Maybe this is why I like Titus. I think Titus and I might be sharing the same brain cell.
Give me a break!
Literal sentence that comes out of your mouth immediately after realizing you're out of anything is, guess I'll die. Yeah, that is true. You're not wrong. Alright. Oh, it's a click. Get him. We'll just trade blows at this thing for a little bit until either it kills me or I kill it. Alright. Oh, there was a treasure chest hidden over there that I missed. Oh man, now I can't come back here and pick that up till the end of the game. It's just to the right of that door I couldn't open. Behind that big rock. Oh well. Guess I'll die.
You on my side? Cool!
Okay. Using grenades. Just a very abrupt tutorial here. Like certain items like grenades have special effects when used. Special effects like doing a shit pile of damage is apparently a special effect. Items can only be used during battle by selecting the special ability use. So if we go to Riku here, her name's Riku, whatever. The game's calling her question mark, it's Riku. I'm not... Spoilers! If we go over to her use ability, we've got grenades. Damages all enemies. I guess it says all enemy damage. It's area damage. 350 damage. Not bad. Titus, give him a whack. Riku, give him another grenade. Titus, smack him. Wait, that was Riku. Whoops. Oh well. Slight misplay there. I should have gone steal, because then I could steal another grenade off of this idiot. That's okay. Problem solved. Titus gets another turn, and it's dead. Take your spoilers. Jack kills Dumbledore. We had 24 years and 2 games to figure out who Riku is. That's true. To be fair, she did have a face mask on, so I suppose it's possible that you wouldn't have recognized
That was
her.
close.
Alright,
Hey,
some
let me
translation
go.
coming up here that you wouldn't normally have. What is this? Fiend in human disguise. Yes, it's so. We kill it?
Fed!
Wait. What if it's human? They're the same in death. I love this guy. I forbid it, we bring it with us.
Kuno.
Sorry. I do know Kuno is sorry. C-U-N-N-O is sorry in Albed. That's one of the few Albed words I remember. And how's it going tonight? How did I like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Overall, fantastic. I'd say it was overall exactly what I wanted out of it. A few parts that were a little weird. Couple minor grumbles when the combat system, had some occasional times where the assess would tell you like, here's how you defeat the boss, and then that was just wrong, and that's annoying as hell. But overall, really solid. Story's fantastic. Except for a few changes that I was like, why are we doing this? Like the Gi Natak and Gi Village subplot. Sit captive.
Hey, that hurts.
No moving here.
Whoa. Okay.
Ah, brother, before they ruin you in Final Fantasy X too. Search him. Alright.
Right. Whatever.
Do not speak.
I said I don't understand.
Insolence.
He said you can stay if you make yourself useful.
You understand me? All right, I'll work.
Okay, how about the Chocobo racing? I loved the Chocobo racing. Chocobo racing was amazing. I am someone that likes a lot of variety in mini games in my games. So like, one of the biggest complaints I heard people say about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was the amount of mini games is too high.
What's this? Some kind of crane?
Hey, you get away from there.
All right. You don't have to shout.
Yeah, one of the biggest complaints I saw was that people were complaining about like, oh my god, there's too many mini games, and like I am just like, yes, excellent. I would like Yakuza. I've tried Yakuza. I couldn't get into it. I need a bit more structure for the story. I like a structured story with a lot of variety and mini games thrown in as optional content, whereas Yakuza makes the mini games like the content. I couldn't really get into them. I don't know. Maybe I'll try them again someday and see what I think. Maybe I just need to like sink my teeth in and get a little bit more invested in it. You're afraid of the sea, weakling. Move it, get to work immediately. You're near death, really near death. Use this. It gives you 3 potions. Which he would still give you even if you couldn't speak all bad and you'd just have no idea what he was saying. Come on, earn your pay. Alright, let's go.
Oh, almost forgot.
Using the sphere grid. Okay, they're going to teach me how to level up. I'm going to skip as much of this as fast as I can because I can just explain the sphere grid every bit as well, if not better, than this tutorial is going to once we actually get into the game. Also, interesting note, this is a video playing, not like an in-game, it's not actually using the sphere grid, and you can tell because if you're playing on expert sphere grid, it still shows this. It still shows the standard sphere grid, not the expert sphere grid. Which I've always thought was kind of funny. You really wouldn't notice it in the original game because, like, it would just look like they'd open the menu and were, like, manually, forcing you through a couple like, default things here. But when you start playing with the expert sphere grid is laid out completely differently and is a different color. It's like a kind of goldish bronze. I guess brass. No H on the end of that. Blech. Alright, fantastic. This is wonderful. Yes, we can zoom out. Are we going to show off the tilt feature? We aren't. Oh, they missed a step. So anyways, the sphere grid. It's a big, like I described as kind of a board game. You got a bit like a line here that you can follow. Each time you gain a level, you can move one square along the line or circle along the line if you want. And then you can activate nodes. The little circles here. You can activate them to give yourself whatever it says on the node. At the top there, it'll tell you what each node does. You can activate nodes one tile ahead of and one tile behind where you currently are sitting. And there are going to be a variety of different nodes you can see here, like this is an ability, teaches cheer, this raises defense by 1 point, raises strength, teaches flee, agility, accuracy, raise your MP. This one up here is going to raise your HP. This is going to teach white magic. If we scroll down, there's some black magic here. And as you can see, it's quite an extensive board. Each character in this standard board is going to kind of start out in their own little track. And they'll follow their track through and learn a bunch of abilities that would match their class's kind of archetype. If we look at Tidus, for example, here, he cannot go down right now because there's a lock sphere blocking the way. You can eventually get key spheres that will allow you to open these locks and you can move around more freely, but you're not going to get those for a little while. So for the moment being, Tidus is locked in and can only go this way. And as you can see, it's going to be a kind of linear path, and it's going to go along here. And then he could go up here to grab Extract Speed. I think in the original US release, this didn't exist. I don't think the Extract Spheres were there. They added this, I believe, in the international version. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure those got added in international. It lets you basically gain specific spear types later. We'll want those. I'm going to grab them. But you can see that this leads to a dead end, and then you go back to here, and you follow this along. And there's a level 2 lock that keeps me from going over this way. And then I can kind of go along here, and we're going to go along. And then there's a level 1 lock that blocks me off. Level 3 and a level 4 lock. I could come up here and grab a couple of magic nodes. And then you just kind of follow this along. Again, if I had the level 1 sphere, I could get in here and grab these 3. Follow this. If I had a level 3, I could go grab this strength node. Yeah, follow this around. Again, blocked off by a level 2. This is good. I know exactly where this is. This is even a starting area for later. But you just kind of follow this along. You really only have one path to choose from. It gets you all of the abilities that they've kind of like bookmarked as quote-unquote Tidus's abilities, all the way up to his final ability, Quick Hit, and then you're like done with Tidus's square. And then you could move on to a new area. And each character is going to kind of have their own little predetermined path to follow, with one notable exception along the grid, and it'll give them abilities that kind of match what the game's planning for them. The Expert Sphere Grid, the biggest difference is that the layouts are all completely different, and there's much less in the way of locks. So like everybody's going to start out closer to like the center, and then all the abilities are kind of more like they're still clustered near each other or along a path that would make sense. Like if you just want to grab all Tidus's default abilities, you can still kind of do that. But each character is going to have the option to access like every other area there. So you have a lot more flexibility in how you want to raise your characters, which is interesting, although not necessarily always recommended, because the game does kind of expect you to have your characters leveled along certain paths. But yeah, there's a brief summary of how this is going to work. You can go into here. I can press move to move him along. Right now, you can kind of see an interest in like Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'll play it eventually. It's not top of my priority list. I really did enjoy Xenoblade Chronicles 1 when I played it. It was super, super cool. But I also want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3 eventually. And X is also there. I'm going to buy X when it comes out eventually. But I'll probably eventually stream through all of them, because I did really enjoy Chronicles, like a lot. It was like the best JRPG I've played in like probably since Final Fantasy X. So like yeah, I'll eventually play it. Got burned out at the end. I mean, I don't even know if I can say I got burned out. It's just it is a long game. I enjoyed it all the way to the end, but it is a long game. So I do want to get back and play Chronicles 2. I think Chronicles 2 would be the one I would do next. Before I do Chronicles X, I think I'd want to do Chronicles 2. And I'd probably do Chronicles X before I do Chronicles 3. Specifically, the DLC for 3 I've heard kind of ties a lot of the other Chronicles games together, so like maybe we'll do that. We'll see. Overall, yeah, did really enjoy Chronicles though. Chronicles is great. Xenoblade Chronicles is fantastic. I highly recommend it. But yeah, that's the plan. You can see, anyways, where Tidus is at. He currently can reach one sphere grid ahead, one sphere grid behind, meaning he can reach an empty sphere grid, the empty sphere grid he's standing on, and a lock sphere, which he can't do anything with. However, if so, right now, ability sphere, only thing I got, can't do anything. If I move him forward one, that ability sphere now lets me learn Sheer. We can toggle back and forth between the characters here. We can see we've got Riku here, or question mark, who's already learned Steal and Use, and has an ability sphere, but we don't use ability spheres to activate HP spheres. We need a different type of sphere to activate this node. So, right now she can't move, she can't do anything, we'll just leave her there. Let's just save again now that I've done this whole big long explanation and leveled Tidus up once. How do I get to work immediately?
We found some ancient ruins right beneath us.
There we go.
It's not active now, but there should still be some power left. We're gonna go down there and activate it. And then we should be able to salvage the big prize.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get to work.
Roger.
That was like a year ago already now? Possibly. Yeah, it feels like it might be about right. God, this year flew. There was a lot happening in my real life. So this year felt like it went by very fast. Switching jobs and everything, it was a big shift for me. It did mean that I was doing a lot less streaming than normal for a while there, because I was just so busy with the new job and trying to switch my sleep schedule over and everything with that. But yeah. Alright. Tidus, Riku, what do we got here? Let's just steal off these guys. What do I get from them? Ooh, grenades. I think all of these fish technically count as one fish, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's only Monster A. Probably should have stolen some more. We're going to want to steal a lot with her, so that I can get that steal 100 items with Riku achievement that I never got on my PS4 version. The one achievement that's I technically have not platinumed the game because I haven't bothered to steal 100? 50? I don't even remember. It's not even that many. I just never got around to doing it. It's one of those, like, I could go boot up my PS4 and earn that platinum, like, right now in 20 minutes. Also, we get to see Tidus using a computer, which is always a joy. What's the music? Okay, hold up. I want to hear the arranged soundtrack for this. It sounds effectively identical. Alright, throw that on. Also put vibration on. Why not? I don't know what it does, but we'll see. You get it, Tidus. You show that computer who's boss. That's how I deal with blue screens of death. Just bonk the monitor a little bit until it starts working again. Okay, Riku is signaling something about the ceiling and then waving her arms a bunch. I feel like we maybe should have come up with some kind of standardized sign language before we went down here. Riku, keep stealing. Here's the plan. You steal, I punch. I guess swing a sword, but whatever. Riku, steal from the other monster now. Hell yeah. Can I steal multiple grenades from a single fish? Oh, you can. Okay, we're gonna stockpile some grenades, I think. Couldn't steal anything. Beautiful. I don't remember if there's random encounters down here or not. Before we go press that button, though, I'm gonna go heal, because we did take a bunch of extra damage there for no reason. Part of me thinks that there isn't random encounters here, because, like, Riku's, like, actually animated on the map. Wait. Oh, can I not go back up there to save? Oh, that's awkward. I could return to the ship, apparently. And save up there. Whatever, we'll just use some potions. Can I use some potions from here? There we go, beautiful. Okay. Examine this device in the middle of the room. Yeah, give it a couple bonks. That'll do it. And if you're familiar with the end of the game, keep an eye on what we're unearthing here, because you might end up recognizing it. Does it tell me Underwater Ruins is the name of this place? Oh! It's boss o'clock! Alright. Riku, steal. Give me some grenades. We're gonna have Tidus Cheer, raise party strength and defense. Several of the characters in this game are going to have an ability similar to this that will give you a strength and defense, or a magic and magic defense, or some kind of buff similar to that, evasion. They can be stacked up to 5 times. So, first thing you might want to do at the start of some of these fights is just stack your buffs. The buffs will stay applied. I don't remember if they carry through death or not. We'll experiment with that later. Just keep stealing. Tidus, I think I've lost count of how many cheers I've got. This is either 3 or 4. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm not that fussed about it either way. This is either 4 or 5. We'll just assume that's good enough. So that's buffing our defense and our attack. So now when we attack or use our defense, we should do more of it. Couldn't steal anything. Tidus, hit him with a stick. Enemy use tentacles instead of ninetacles. Alright, Tidus, overdrive, swordplay, spiral cut. Boom. Oh my god, that was 750 damage. Holy crap. Okay, the enemy runs around behind us. We may want to... Okay, trigger commands. If I go... We've got standby. Can I use a grenade on this idiot from here? Just cheer again. I think he's going to use a move that's going to rush around and hit us for a bunch of damage in a second, and we could technically use standby to, like, wait while recovering HP. Yeah, that's it, so... Yeah, screw that. Hit him with another grenade. Can I kill this idiot before he comes around here? Nope. I bet you I can kill him before he comes around again, though. Almost certainly could have if I was actually attacking with Riku during half of this. Oh my god, we're looking pretty jacked up. Oh, nope, he's dead. Yeah, there's technically a special gimmick to that boss fight. If you wait a little bit longer, you'll get a trigger command to do a pincer maneuver where you swim around to opposite sides of him to prevent him from doing his charge. But apparently if you just throw some grenades at him while he's on the other side of the arena, you can just kill him before that. Problem solved. Give me my power sphere. Give me some extra defense. Riku, I think you can use that to activate that HP increase. Very nice. Tore a hole in the side of this place so we can get on out of here. Alright, lights are all powered up. And let's see what they're shining on, which at the beginning of the game might not look like much. But that shape below us there that we're all swimming towards, particularly that large circle there, you might recognize this if you're familiar with the end of the game. And that kind of pointed bit at the front there. Let's swim on down. Can I talk to these guys? No. Alright, we've uncovered something, which we'll be seeing later in the game, but it's neat seeing it here at the beginning. It's one of those, like, second time you play it, you're gonna be like, oh, hey, that's where they got that from. Oh, and apparently if you have Al Bhed, we found the airship, the records were right. If you have Al Bhed translated, you just get to know what it is, which you would only have in a second playthrough anyway, so whatever. Now, how to drag it up? You outside.
Hey! Hey, I helped out, didn't I? Ugh, hungry. Whoa! Right on.
Hey! It's 'cause you eat too fast.
Uh-huh. Huh.
Hey!
Hello there. What is your name?
Riku?
Whoa! You really do understand. Woo-hoo-hoo! Why didn't you say so earlier?
I didn't get a chance to. Everyone thought we were a fiend.
We?
Oh, we means you.
Who are you guys anyway?
We're Al Bhed. Can't you tell? Wait, you're not an Al Bhed hater, are you?
I don't even know what an Al Bhed is.
Where are you from?
Xanarkand. I'm a blitzball player. Star player of the Xanarkand Abes.
Did you hit your head or something?
You guys hit me?
Oh, right. Do you remember anything before that?
So I told her everything there was to tell about Xanarkand. About life there, Blitzball, and Sin's attack. And about how Aaron and I were engulfed in this light. I just said things as they came to mind. But then I started to wonder. Did I say something funny?
You were near Sin.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, you'll be better in no time. They say your head gets funny when Sin is near. Maybe you just had some kind of dream?
You mean I'm sick?
Because of Sin's toxin, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, there is no Xanarkand anymore. Sin destroyed it 1,000 years ago. So no one plays Blitzball there.
Huh? What do you mean, 1,000 years ago? But I saw Sin attack Xanarkand. You're saying that happened 1,000 years ago? No way!
Okay, let's save. As Titus clearly goes insane. I want to save... it can't be. I was like, I feel like there must have been an Al Bhed primer around here, but no, because you can't get back to
You
this
said...
boat.
You play Blitzball?
Uh-huh.
You know, you should go to Luca. Someone might know who you are, or you might find someone you recognize.
Luca?
Ah.
Huh.
Okay, leave it to me. I'll get you to Luca. Promise. You'd rather stay here?
Uh-uh.
Okay, I'll go tell the others. Wait here. Oh, and one thing. Don't tell anyone you're from Xanarkand, Kay? Yevon says it's a holy place. You might upset someone.
Oh, uh-huh. My Xanarkand? Some kind of holy place? Yeah, right, I thought. Since when? Yevon? Sin? Luca? I thought Sin just took me to a faraway place, that I could go back in a day or two. But 1,000 years into the future? No way! Whoa, whoa!
I like how they translate sin to sin. Because that's still translated even if you don't have the books. Most proper nouns stay the same.
Whoa! Ah!
Oh, And away he goes. Yeah, we'll save. Another thing that's worth noting is all of Titus's like inner monologue narration when he's kind of like discussing his thoughts on events is supposed to come from that just after that opening cutscene we saw with the let me tell you my story opening cutscene. So if you know where that takes place in the plot, because we do eventually get to that point in the plot, where we see the whole party sitting around that campfire. That is when he's narrating all this, because it's supposed to be that up until, as you're playing through the game up to that point, you're kind of recapping his events in his head, and he's telling the story of how they got to this point, and recording it on save spears, little video spears, to kind of document his journey through Spira. And you can kind of tell there's subtle hints about like plot elements that may not be revealed yet in a first playthrough in how he's discussing certain things because of where he's at that point in the game. And then when you play through farther than that, you stop getting narration, and it just kind of plays on. At that point, you're now like actively playing through the story. So the first 85% or so of this game's plot is all technically a recap.
Riku! Blitzball!
Hey, you okay?
Okay, Titus
Hey!
Titus sees Blitzball and all things are healed. Also, 8K retextured Blitzball. Just saying. Alright, we got it. We're just gonna, real quick, before we head up onto the beach, swim over here and grab this chest with the moon crest in it. Because it's never too early to start gathering key items for ultimate weapons. A celestial token fashioned in the shape of the moon. Secret chest, yes. Secret chest that contains an upgrade item for upgrading, like, literally the final weapon for one of the characters in the game. I love that. I love games that have, like, crazy powerful, I guess it's not very powerful, but important items hidden off the beaten track, like, immediately on the first screen of the game. It's so fun. Like, narration thing is giving Doctor Who, my name is Rose Tyler. This is the story of how I died. Yeah. It's honestly very similar to that kind of framing context. Although it's interesting in this one that, yeah, you do eventually reach that point in the story, and then you get to continue on from there. And there's actually a pretty significant amount of story that takes place beyond where we're narrating from right now. It's like currently, this is all Titus's recap of the events of when he arrived in Spira and all that. You'll occasionally notice that his narration, he's going to have different opinions as a narrator than Titus in the story is going to have. So sometimes you'll see Titus in the story either, hostile or friendly to certain people or factions that the narrator Titus is going to have a very different opinion about, and that's going to be because of events that take place, farther down the line. Character growth, yeah. Speaking of character growth, it's the living embodiment of character growth looking at us right now.
Yo. Hiya.
You wanna try that move one more
Man,
time?
that 8K texture is really
Finally.
gorgeous.
Things were starting to look up.
Get it, Titus. The 8K texture on the Blitzball, of course, not Waka. Blitzball is life.
play for?
The Xanarkin Abes.
Sorry, I was thinking about Blitzball. I had
What
the brain
can
cell
you
for the
say
moment.
again?
I apologize for Titus.
I meant, forget that. I got too close to Sin, and my head's all foggy like. So I don't know where this place is, or even where I came from.
Sin's toxin got to you, but you're still alive. Praise be to Yevon. All right, back to practice. I'm Waka, coach and captain of the Besaid Aurochs, brother. What, you hungry? Okay, back to the village. I'll get you something.
So we looked this up the other day when I was like testing like if the mods I'd installed were working. I was like confused like Titus's height because Titus was shorter than I thought he was. I think he ended up being like what, like 5'9" was his official listed height. And in the cutscene where I was confused about his height, he just happened to be standing next to Waka, and he's like way shorter than Waka. And I was like, oh, okay. It turns out Waka's like 6'2", so Waka's actually quite tall. But now that I'm looking at Waka, was he 6'3"? I thought it was 6'2", but okay, whatever. He's 6'6", a couple inches over 6 foot. Do you think they were counting his hair? Because like, that's gotta add like a foot. Like, he's got quite the pronounced hair. Alright. Letty, I can head the ball pretty good. Today's just a bad day. It's weird, yeah. I could do 5 in a row yesterday. Maybe if you weren't looking to the side we were talking. I'm nowhere near Captain Walkup. I can hold my own underwater. Just that I'm not so good with the ball. True, the best players can even sleep underwater? Man, that's like superhuman, you know? I like that he comments on that. That like, the length of time and the physical exertion that professional blitzball players can like expend while underwater is like, yeah, it's just straight up supernatural. Like no regular human being should be able to perform the feats they do underwater, where they're like they can spend a solid 30 minutes underwater while doing like high impact sports and like backflips and stuff. Like that's insane. Gotta stop closing my eyes when the ball comes down. You being a blitzball player is probably what saved you out there. The best players, they can hold their breath like forever. Wish I could do that. We had an underwater race once to see how long we could go. 2 laps and we were out, but Captain Waka went 5, no sweat. Toxin's nasty stuff. Go rest up. What am I saying? Take this, it might help. Oh, he gives you a high potion if you talk to him enough. Didn't know that. I just assumed it was magic, honestly. Yeah, no, it's not magic. It's just like straight up like they train like real hardcore apparently, which is like, yeah, not real, but don't try that. Don't attempt to play real blitzball. Shot was spectacular, brother. I wish I could shoot like that. Captain Waka's waiting for you. Better get going. There's fiends on the road. Use this if you get into trouble. Oh, some more potions. Cool. What up, Keepa? I'll admit we're not the best blitzers in Spira. To do our best, that's our motto. Guess it's not enough, though. Take this and do your best. 200 bucks. Always top dogs for the first few minutes of the game. Then we start to run out of breath. That's when they get us. Captain Waka, man, he don't stop. No halftime breath for him. He just keeps going. Okay. Bata, I really want to make Captain Waka proud at this year's tournament. Come practice with us once the toxin wears off. Hope you get better soon. Some more potions. Nice. Cool. Alright, Waka.
I felt like I could trust this Waka, so I just had to ask. It's true Xanarkin was destroyed, right? 1,000 years ago? So it's just a big pile of rubble now, isn't it?
Long time ago, there were a whole lot of cities in Spira. Big cities with machina, machines to run them. People played all day and let the machina do the work. And then, well, take a look. Sin came and destroyed the machina cities. And Xanarkand along with him. Yeah, that was about 1,000 years ago. Just like you said. If you ask me, Sin's our punishment for letting things get out of hand. What gets me though is we gotta suffer because of what some goofballs did way back when. Of course, we must always repent for our sins. That's important. It's just that it's hard to keep at it sometimes, you know?
It was just as Riku said. Waka and Riku couldn't both be lying. Why would they?
But you from the Xanarkand Daves, that was a good one, huh? Hey, I'm not saying that team never existed, yeah? But you gotta figure, a team living in luxury like that be pretty soft, eh?
I appreciated the fact that Waka was trying to cheer me up. But at that time, all I could think about was everything that happened to me. All this started with Sin. Maybe if I could find Sin one more time, I could go home. For now, I just live life until that time came. No more worrying about where or when I was. Sure, it was hard not to think of home, but I started to feel better already. A little better, maybe.
Alright, on we go. So it started a pop group in 2, lung capacity like that? Yeah. They actually do comment on that. There's, in the HD collection, it includes some, like, extra features that were released as, like, bonus content on some of the extra discs that came with the, like, International Edition. And there is a 15-minute or so long, maybe hour or so long. I think it's about 15 minutes. There's, like, a little animation that shows, Yuna between the events of 10 and 10-2. And one of the things she's doing is she's out on the beach here and she's practicing holding her breath because she's trying to extend her breath to be able to keep up with Riku and the rest of them. Mostly because she misses Tidus. Spoilers for the end of this game, but Tidus ain't gonna have a happy ending. We'll put that out there. When I said this game is condensed depression, yeah, the ending of this game is gonna get rough. But yeah, they have a little bit of a talk with that where she's actually training. I think she said she's gotten her ability to hold her breath up to like 10 minutes or something like that, which is really, really impressive. Only had about 24 years to find that out, yeah.
Hey, it's this way.
I won't say how he's not going to have a happy ending. Because, yeah, it's... "10 minutes? I can't even do one." I could probably... maybe I could do one. I could probably do one. Maybe. That's pushing it, though. And I haven't practiced it much at all. One's, like, definitely the upper limit of what I could do.
What's the big idea?
As middle school, as a kid, my class was obsessed. I drew more fan art, more fanfic than maybe anyone I've ever met. I was far from 10. 10's, I mean, it's a great game. And it's also notable in that, like, I mean, 12 didn't come out until, what year? What year did 12 come out? Anybody got Google open? They can figure that one out. Because 11 was the MMO, which required a subscription and an internet connection, and so for a lot of people, it just wasn't a viable. It also wasn't, a single-player story. So yeah, you had like a pretty good chunk between 10 and 12. So if you're like a die-hard Final Fantasy game fan, like, there was a good while there where you just didn't have a Final Fantasy game to play. Dark Attack? Nah, I don't want to waste the MP. That's fine. Just hit him with the Blitz Ball. And when 12 came out, the initial version that was released wasn't great. Like the launch version of 12 was kind of a mess. The international version ended up being a significant improvement, but that didn't get a US release for like almost a decade. So if you were in the US and were a Final Fantasy fan, it was like you had 12, which didn't get the greatest release. You had 13, which, I mean, still to this day, isn't universally beloved, we'll go with. 14's another MMO. 15 was a bit of a mess. So, like, honestly, it was like Final Fantasy X and then Final Fantasy 16, which came out like last year. So, it was like 20-something years between like dedicated brand new story single-player Final Fantasy games in the mainline series that were like, yeah, this is pretty damn good. Admittedly, 12's International Edition did come out in the middle there, and I would say that 12's International Edition is, like, really solid. So, like, you got that, but if you were a fan of single-player Final Fantasy games, you were picking up scraps for a long time. Admittedly, they did get a few nice little like HD remasters and ports and stuff like that. So you like this, the HD remaster of Final Fantasy X, in the interim period there, and like the pixel remasters and some of the like old ports of like Final Fantasy 2 and 3 to the DS and Advance were like, oh, it's the first time you got a chance to see those. So you had that going on. There was some life there, but if you were just looking for like a straight up release of a new story, man, been a while. It's one of the reasons I was so excited when 16 finally came to PC, because like, man, it's been since Final Fantasy X that a new Final Fantasy that was positively received on the whole came out that I could look forward to. Other than the remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I guess I would count that as a new game, and it was well received. Just keep moving them along their sphere grids. Antidotes. Beautiful. What's the remix of this song sound like? Oh, we get the remix of the battle theme too while we're at it, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not sold on a lot of the arranged soundtrack. I genuinely do just think the original versions of a lot of these songs just held up really well. I don't know that there's nothing wrong with the arranged version, I just don't know that I need them. Yeah, no, I'm not really digging this. Like, it's okay, but not really knocking my socks off or anything. We're gonna go back. We're just gonna stick to the original soundtrack, I think. Okay, what do we got? Lock Sphere there, Dark Attack, nothing new here. Move Waka forward. Get him his agility up. Going to bed early tonight, I say like a clown. I'm throwing the towel for the evening. Remember to sleep at some point. What time is it?
Got a favor to ask you.
5:30. Okay, I should probably sleep pretty soon. We'll sleep once I get to the village. I'll probably call it pretty soon here myself as well. I am planning to do like a full 100% complete playthrough of this game.
All the teams in Spira will be there. It's so huge, I'm sure someone there will recognize you. Then you can go back to your old team, right? It'll be fun. What do you say, huh? Come on, come on.
Sure thing.
Dude, our team is gonna rock, eh?
I thought then that Blitzball and Sin were the only two things that Spira and Zanarkand had in common. I wasn't too far off either.
This is where I was born. I started Blitz when I was 5. I joined the Aurochs at 13, 10 years ago. 10 years.
Yeah, so he's
We
23.
never won
Yeah.
a game. Well, after last year's tournament, I quit. Time seemed right. So, after quitting, I got this new job, yeah? But every time my mind wandered, I thought about the game.
10 years without a single win will do that.
My first match last year was my big chance. But something else was on my mind. I couldn't focus.
Nice excuse.
Hey, hey!
Oh.
So, you want to win the next tournament. Go out with a bang. So, what's our goal?
I don't care how we do. Long as we play our best. If we give it our all, I can walk away happy.
No. If I say, what's our goal? You say, victory! When you play in a blitzball tournament, you play to win.
Victory? You're serious?
I don't know if I picked up on that before. I probably have, but man, like, when he says something else was on his mind a year ago, it distracted him. Like, I know what that is now from playing the game before. And Titus's little quip about, oh, nice excuse, like, oh. We'll find out more about that. And then, yeah, hell yeah, I know, yeah, Titus is great. Play to win, for sure. I think a lot of people feel that Titus comes off as very cocky and, like, kind of a dumb jock, but, like, I don't
One from
know.
the sea.
Be on guard. There are fiends on the road today.
After surviving your run-in with Sin, it would be a shame if something happened now.
Who are they?
Luzu and Gata, Crusaders.
Huh? Crews of what?
What, you forgot that too? Hey, sorry. Don't worry about it. I'll help you out.
Cool. In return, come tournament time, I'll make sure we take the cup.
Cool. About the Crusaders, you can ask them yourself. They got a lodge in a village.
Alright. We're going to get to the save point in the village. We'll discuss a little bit more of the plot here, there when we're there. What we've come up against here.
Besaid Village.
Besaid Village
Hey,
theme.
got any food there?
We'll get you something over there later. Take a look around first. Let's see. The Crusaders' Lodge is over yonder. Luzu and Gata are usually there. All right. Over here.
Huh? What's up?
You do remember the prayer, right?
Let's just say... We'll go with I don't remember.
I didn't know it in the first place, to tell the truth.
Man, that's like the basics of the basics. All right, I'll show you. Go ahead, you try. Hey, not bad. Okay, now go present yourself to the temple summoner.
Any blitzball player would know that prayer. It was the blitzball sign for victory.
So yeah, some interesting little stuff there with like why is the blitzball sign for victory being recognized as a prayer symbol? What are the Crusaders doing? What was Waka distracted by a year ago that prevented him from winning in that game? I'm gonna real quick run back up. Can I get up back out? Oh no, fiends are out even during the day. Take care of travel alone. Where is there a save sphere around here? I'm just gonna poke my head around a little bit real quick and look for a save sphere. Yeah, some interesting stuff coming up there. And yeah, like I said, I think a lot of people tend to view Titus as kind of like a dumb jock. And he's a lot of times like pretty negatively viewed by the fan base. He's already stealing things. Yeah, you gotta. That's how you do. I kind of think he's underrated. I think he's a lot smarter and a lot. See, like that whole like, oh, we're here to win. Like, yeah, that's just good advice. That's how you should approach something in life. Like, if you're gonna take it seriously, take it seriously. Like, if you want to play in a blitzball tournament, play to win your blitzball tournament. Like, don't beat yourself up about it if you lose, but like, give it your all, man. Go in there and like, my goal here is to win, plan to win, and do what you gotta do in order to win. And like, if that doesn't work, come back and look at what happened. Look at what went wrong, and try to do better. Like it's not worth beating yourself up about or anything like that. Like obviously, like if you know you did everything you could and it didn't work, hey man, that's just how life works sometimes. Keep going, but like, don't go in half-assed. Yeah, I don't know. I like Titus, I think, overall. Especially as the story goes on and he kind of grows. There's one particular scene that people tend to give him a lot of flack for. There's a scene of him laughing, and it's the most forced, awkward, stilted laugh in the world. I actually have it as a sound redeem right now. If you look down in the channel points section, you can redeem the Titus ha 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 thing for that. And it's a terrible. People will be like, oh, it's bad voice acting. Oh, Titus is a bad character. When we get to that scene in the game, we'll discuss this a little bit more. But like, yeah, no. If you've seen that scene, there's more going on there. Don't bring what's down the process to apologize after your hype ends. Yeah. Yeah, overall, I really enjoy a lot of the characters in this game. I think they're super well written, super well handled. Plot's interesting. At this point in the game, like Ultra Goldsmith, it kind of sounds to me, I may be wrong here. Do you know the plot of this game, or have you not experienced this game before? Because it sounds a little bit like maybe you haven't seen this before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just misreading you there, but. I was like, if you haven't seen this before, I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are on what we're looking at right now. Because my general impression the first time I played... Okay, no idea. Okay, yeah, first time I played this was that, like, we must be looking at something like some kind of time travel. That Titus has somehow been thrown 1,000 years into the future. And he's seeing a world 1,000 years after Sin destroyed it, and Sin has somehow thrown him into the future. And that's maybe not necessarily 100% true. We'll see more about that as time goes on. But yeah, there's some interesting twists and turns, and the plot does a lot of interesting loops, and you learn more about who all these characters are and how they relate to each other, and where Riku and the All Bed fit into things, and how Sin fits into things, and how the Crusaders and this religion fit in, and why are they using a blitzball sign for victory from 1,000 years ago as their prayer symbol, and like what's going on here? Also, there's a cat. I don't think I can interact with this cat, but gotta acknowledge the cat. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff we're going to be getting to, and we're only, an hour into the game, 2 hours into the game? We're going to be looking at a long play file here. Main plot of this game is maybe about 45 to 60 hours, depending on how thorough you're being. And then we're going to do everything. We're doing all the side content. I'm going to be doing all the optional bosses, all the optional dungeons, upgrading everybody's weapons to max. We're going to be getting every single character to unlock every single node on this sphere grid. All of them. Every character in my party is going to know every ability and every stat on this entire sphere grid. We are going to be taking, if not all, most of these empty nodes, like this one here and this one here, that don't actually do anything. And we're going to be turning them into stat boosting spheres, and then teaching them to every single member of our party. There's going to be a boss that we're going to fight later on in this that's going to be like half an hour. Like, I'm probably going to have a stream that is mostly just like prep for and then fighting a single boss. And it's, this is turn-based system, so it's half an hour of just like alternating turns on this one boss. It's gonna be nuts. We've got a lot of stuff coming up in this. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna call it apart. I'm gonna go get myself some sleep. I'll be back on a, I don't want to say for sure tomorrow, but on at least a consistent schedule. We'll try to stream pretty regularly here because I'm looking forward to playing through this. One of my favorite games of all time, one of my favorite Final Fantasy games, and the fact that I don't have all of the achievements on this on Steam is like, that's a wrong. That's a wrong I've got to right. I did, I suppose, technically cheat by downloading that save file that gave me the All Bed primers, because I think there's an achievement for getting all 26 All Bed primers, and I now have that, which, like, I guess if you want to tell me that I cheated, I did, but we're going to play through the full game, and that is by far not the hardest achievement to earn here. And we'll still be able to get... I'll make sure we point out where the missable ones are. Most of them are not missable, and you can just go back to them anytime you want, pick them up whenever. I believe there are 4 that are missable, and we'll point out where they are. And I'll make sure to, I guess, do an honor walk of some sorts. We'll stand where they would be and press X to pretend that we're getting them. We'll do the yeah, the little, I can't think of the word for this. Yeah, it's fine. Some may say you cheated, others may say you did all you could to achieve your goals. Yeah, there we go. It's not cheating. I just played extra hard. We played to win. No, I actually specifically did that so that you could see the translations of the All Bed text on the screen, because I think it fleshes out the story in some interesting ways. Your first playthrough, all of the All Bed would be gobbledygook and you wouldn't have any idea what they were saying. And I think it's just kind of neat to be able to see it. It is technically going to spoil a few plot elements here and there, like the fact that we heard them say they found the airship and they want to dig it up. When, spoilers, when they turn up later in an airship, guess where they got the airship from? So there's some minor stuff like that where we might get a little bit of a hint at some story elements that you maybe wouldn't know about on your first playthrough by having the All Bed translated, but I think that's kind of cool. I also like that it was kind of neat when you first see the All Bed finding Tidus in that cave, that temple he was in. And they think he's a fiend in human disguise and they want to kill him because he looks weird, because he's wearing super bizarre clothes and has his hair done weird and like just doesn't look like a person from their era. So they don't know what the hell he is. And like, he shouldn't be in those ruins. When we find out more about those ruins later, there shouldn't be people living in there. But yeah, for now, I'm going to get some sleep. Thank you all for joining. I will real quick, let me pause. And then we'll tab out, and we'll throw up the old ending screen. And we'll throw up the social media links. There they are. The YouTube, the Blue Sky. It'll have all the info you want. Also, we are not, like, completely abandoning Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I do want to finish all of that. I have not uninstalled it. So when I'm on a day where I feel like going back and doing some side quests on that, wrapping up some more of that stuff, we'll stream some of that. I also would still like to finish playing that Knights of the Old Republic Darkside playthrough that I started. It's pretty fun, so we'll probably go back and do some of that. Maybe we'll set like a specific day. Maybe I'll do like Star Wars Saturdays or something like that, where we just every Saturday night I just stream some Star Wars, just work through it that way, and then we'll just focus on Final Fantasy in the main time. I don't know. We'll figure something out, because I do want to continue with that. It's a real damn good game, and I would like to finish that up. But for now, I'm going to go get myself some sleep. Take it easy, and I'll see you all next time.